For more on this developing story, we welcome Israeli journalist Tal Heinrich to discuss. Tal, what are the latest updates that you've been hearing from Lebanon?
So the rescue operations are still underway. I've seen that Turkey has sent in some rescue teams to help. There's a lot of foreign assistance making its way to Lebanon. Overnight, it was quite challenging because they had to run these rescue operations with no electricity. Some of the wounded people were evacuated to hospitals outside Beirut because the health system in the city were so overwhelmed, reached their capacity. As for the cause and the source of the explosion, Emma, well, the investigation is still ongoing. But as far as we know from Lebanese officials and Lebanese authorities in Beirut, it seems to have started at a warehouse at the port as a fire that broke in this warehouse. And from there, it spread into a different depot, which contained high explosive, a large stockpile of ammonium. And then it just, it explodes. It exploded. And now the Lebanese prime minister recently said, Hassan Diab, that those responsible will pay a heavy price. It seems to be a matter of an accident and mainly negligence, because these chemicals, these explosives, were confiscated years ago from a ship. So it was known since 2014, apparently, that this warehouse was in fact very dangerous.
And Tal, as you say, this investigation is ongoing, but as we know, there is much tension in that area, to say the least. And my next question is whether or not Hezbollah has said anything for our viewers. Hezbollah, of course, an extremist militant group in Lebanon. Is there any indication that they might be connected to this?
Well, of course, given the location and the nature of the explosion, it brings up a lot of questions regarding Hezbollah. The nature of the explosion involving explosives, you have many questions. Why were they there? What was it used for? We know that ammonium is used to make bombs by part, but we don't really know. That's the fact. We do know, I can tell you, that about a year ago, Israel's United Nations ambassador, Danny Danon, he told the security that the port of Beirut has in fact become a Hezbollah port. We know that Iran has been using this port to transfer weapons to Hezbollah. They've been using commercial maritime companies to do so. But I can also tell you that we do know that Hezbollah has different depots and warehouses across Beirut and across different cities in Lebanon that do contain explosives and weapons. And right now they might face some challenges and pressure from within, from civilian population in the vicinity to take them out. It's only natural.
Yeah, of course. And this follows just the numbers here, 100 people dead, more than 4,000 injured. That's initial reports, right? We don't know exactly how accurate that could be, assuming it could be many more than that. As we know, Tal, everyone, like we've been discussing, is going to be looking for an explanation here. Even President Trump weighing in, saying that he thinks it was a premeditated attack, a bomb of some kind. Let's listen to what he had to say.
I've met with some of our great generals, and they just seem to feel that this was not some kind of a manufacturing explosion type of event. This was seems to be, according to them, they would know better than I would, but they seem to think it was a attack. It was a bomb of some kind. Yeah.
And of course, everyone online has their own idea of what might go on, some speculating, asking if Israel had any involvement in it. But among many countries offering assistance, Israel was a surprising offer among them. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, that's right. First, I don't know what the president exactly meant there, or who was he informed by, what was he told. But attack, I can tell you, Emma, it's not the terminology used to describe what happened at the Beirut port yesterday, not in Lebanon, not across the Middle East. And of course, one of the first things that comes to mind when you talk about a potential attack in Lebanon is, of course, the tensions between Israel and Hezbollah. But right after the explosion took place, both Hezbollah and Israel issued statements which indicated that this has nothing to do with them. Hezbollah's statement didn't even mention Israel, by the way. And as you said, Israel right away offered its humanitarian assistance to Lebanon. Both the Israeli prime minister and the president wrote on Twitter in Arabic that Israeli hospitals are ready and welcome Lebanese citizens who were hurt by this explosion. Some hospitals issued their own statements to the people of Lebanon, offering their condolences and help. I just saw, by the way, on Twitter that the Tel Aviv municipality building tonight will light up with the flag of Lebanon. Even the Israeli military, the IDF spokesperson, said that this is a time to rise above all conflicts. And just keep in mind that, of course, Lebanon and Israel are enemies. That's the the enemy to the north of Israel. And so it is by parts surprising. I don't think Lebanon has taken Israel's offer, probably from security concerns.
Yeah, it's been fascinating to see that response, and of course tragic to see the incident, the lives lost, those injured, and of course the billions of dollars in destruction in that city. Tal Heinrich, thank you for your reporting today. We appreciate it.
Thank you.